Hi there, my name is Father Michael and welcome to Friar Art. Today I ask you to journey with me through Holy Week by looking at some beautiful artwork. Wilhelm Hammershøi was a Danish painter born on May 15, 1864. He is most known for his contemplative interiors, poetic landscapes, and subdued portraits. When most of his contemporaries were utilizing strong marks and vibrant colors, Hammershøi's choice were quiet and serene, like the harmonious mixing of warm and cold grays and soft blended tones. His marks were as peaceful as the solitary figures and quiet interiors that he is known for. In the early 1900s, he created a series of paintings depicting the interior of his apartment. The composition and colors were all very quiet and chaste. Some of the paintings in the series were simply an empty room, and some has a single figure, his wife, Ida. One of the paintings in this series that I find most compelling is the one entitled Interior with Ida in the White Chair. His limited palette of mostly cool and warm grays brought life and mystery to this very simple yet poetic composition. A solitary figure sitting on a chair, her back to us, the viewers. She is sitting on a throne-like chair beside an empty table. In front of her is an open door that leads to another room. A room that is obviously has more light and perhaps life. When you look at this painting carefully, it is hard not to ask questions about it. Why is she sitting in that room alone? Why is the table empty? Is she a prisoner in the room? Maybe not. Both doors are open. She is free to leave. And how come she's not leaving? Are there people on the other room? Why is she choosing to stay and sit in that empty room if there are people on the other side? Today is Palm Sunday. The church remembers Jesus' triumphant entrance to the city of Jerusalem. Our churches are traditionally covered with vibrant red fabric. There are palm leaves everywhere. There are processions, incense, and chanting fills our churches. You can say that all our senses are stimulated during Palm Sunday. However, the quiet, the stillness, and the peace that radiates out of this masterpiece by Hammershøi is something that we need to consider and reflect on. The solitary figure in the painting reminds me of Jesus' humble submission to the Father's will. Jesus entered the city of Jerusalem clearly knowing what is going to happen. Jesus rode into Jerusalem as a king, but later that week he would suffer a humiliating death. Perhaps some of the people who welcomed him in the beginning condemned him to death later on. However, nothing deterred him from following God's will wholeheartedly. So much like the figure in the painting, the doors in front of her are wide open. There seemed to be more light and life on the other side. She is free to go wherever she wants to be. Yet, she knows where she needed to be at that moment. I am pretty sure that we all have been in that situation when one day we feel like we are on the top of the world, and then something happens and it all disappears. Much like what we are experiencing right now as we continue our fight against the coronavirus pandemic. It is challenging, it is frightful, and there is a lot of unknown. However, we must keep in mind that Jesus' journey towards the resurrection was filled with many challenges and discomfort. But Jesus' journey did not end in pain and suffering. We must always remember that our God only has good plans for all of us. Sometimes the struggle and pain becomes less when we learn how to be still in order to hear and follow God's voice. Our Holy Week this year may be a bit different from the past. This Palm Sunday, there will not be any palms or procession. The churches may be quiet. We may be alone in our homes, like the woman in the painting. But perhaps we can take this opportunity to be still, to offer anything that worries us to God, and to truly be at peace, knowing that good plans that our God has for all of us.